Hello there, it's Mark and welcome to Book-ramble, and this is a tag, or the reply to a tag, the BookTube behind the scenes tag, and I was tagged by John at Must Read More. Thank you very much. And I believe that the original tag was created by Robert G, reader of books, so I'll put them both in the description below. So here are my answers. Prompt 1. When recording a post, do you read from a prepared script, or do you refer to notes or a broad outline, or do you speak extemporaneously? I have no script, and I certainly don't have a broad outline, apart from, I guess, what the book says. So this is one of the books that I'm currently reading, and now working towards doing the second episode. And it's a big book. I mean, how many episodes I'll do, I don't know. If towards the end it's just back matter, which seems to be a lot here, I won't obviously go that far. I'll open it. So I have a pen to remind me where I've got to. You'll notice that I murder books. The last episode that I did, I'm trying to find it. I got to here. Ep 2. There tells me this is going to be episode 2. So as I'm recording, I'll look at this. Imagine I'm going to be talking on the history of the Russian Revolution. I know in my head it's going to be about the Tsar and the Tsarina, because Trotsky talks a lot about that. And it just says here, if you've noticed, I've made some notes. So I don't have a script, and I'll just be looking at this. So it talks about Nicholas II inherited from his ancestors not only a giant empire, they did not bequeath him one quality which would have made him capable of governing an empire or even a province or a country. So I would then think, how do I put that across? Is it worth talking about? Because when I'm reading and making notes doesn't necessarily mean it's worth talking to camera about. So I'll go something along the lines like this. So the one thing that Trotsky was really interested in was the personalities of the court. He called them the camarilla, Spanish word. And it's like the inner court. And of course, you would assume that the person in charge would be worthy of being in charge. But according to Trotsky, and I know others, the general feeling was that the Tsar Nicholas, was pretty useless. He had certain qualities, but none of them would have helped him when it came to leadership and that kind of thing. That's how I would approach it. I've also made a note here that I'll probably talk about. Did the Tsar, did he suffer from Asperger's? Because he talks about the Tsar saying the following: he would inquire as usual how many versts, I think that's like acreages, he had covered in his journeys about Russia, would recall episodes of hunting expeditions in the past, anecdotes of official meetings, would interest himself generally in the little rubbish of the day's doings. And I don't know if it's the imagery that I have in my head. There's a place here in Auckland. It's the Maritime Museum. And as you go through, they've done a room that's like an old, I don't know why they've done it. It's like an old officer's part of the ship. And on the wall, they've got pictures of George VI and the Tsar. They look almost identical. Because, obviously, they had a common progenitor in Queen Victoria. But I've read, and again, it could be propaganda after the war, that the Tsar did not have much facial expression. He was almost like a frozen face. Well, that's Asperger's. Does that mean anything? Is that pertinent to understanding the book? No, but it just gives you what Leon Trotsky potentially may have thought, although he doesn't say that. So Trotsky did not know of Asperger's. He wrote that the so-called breeding of the Tsar, his ability to control himself in the most extraordinary circumstances, cannot be explained by a mere external training. Its essence was an inner indifference, a poverty of spiritual forces, a weakness of the impulses of the will. That mask of indifference which was called breeding in certain circles. Spiritual emptiness. Well, that's how Trotsky would have framed it, and people at the time But of course, we'd now be using different language, and we probably would be tempted to give a medical condition, which they tended not to do back then. But anyway, not reading from a script, just let my mind, or jog in my mind, so I circle things from the text just to jog the mind so I can talk about it. I hope that makes sense. 2. Do you edit before you post? Yes, all the time. Because I'm deleting hems and haws. That's H-A-W-S. Misspeaks, mispronunciations, and other common public speaking foibles. Great language. Telling academic wrote this. Do you remove things you didn't mean to say, or off-topic thoughts or comments you think might be misunderstood? I've been misunderstood all my life. If I was to take out everything I thought I'd been misunderstood by, I wouldn't have anything to show. I don't remove anything I don't mean to start again. There's an example. That's going to be a blooper. You tend not to see the bloopers. I have a problem I've always had, that my mind often goes further or quicker than the mouth. The mouth tries to catch up. And I do suffer from dyspraxia, clumsiness, and often in speech, so that I have to think sometimes. I've noticed when I do come to editing, there's often quite long pauses that I have to get rid of to shunt the words together. So occasionally you'll get, because you move as you're recording, and as you're splicing together, there's not this seamless moving of the head, it jumps. I've noticed that. So I do remove things I didn't mean to say, because I often misspeak. I always remind myself, I probably said it to camera before, when I was a young child, I could never say car park, I'd say park ark. That could be common, but I often get my words, I'm doing it now. I often get my words mixed up, so I have to be careful of that. But I could speak publicly and no one would ever notice. And in fact, one other thing that really surprised me, I never knew this, throughout the whole 80s and the 90s, I never knew that Rowan Atkinson suffered from stutter. It was only when it was pointed out, and then I watched a few episodes of Blackadder, that it becomes obvious, yeah, he does have a stutter. I'm kind of similar, but unless you knew, you probably wouldn't have picked it up. I think the challenge I have is, as I get older, will it get worse? I don't know. But yeah, I think we all edit at certain points. And you only have to look at the average video where I put in little breaks with music. It's obviously editing. 3. Have you ever edited a post after posting? Have you ever deleted an entire post? No, never deleted an entire post. And YouTube doesn't actually help with the editing after. You can do it, but it's quite difficult. I've done that once. In fact, I must admit, and I don't know why I did this, about 6 months ago, there was a period when I kept doing that. I noticed when I was talking, I can't stop doing it now, when I was watching a video that I'd recorded, it must be dry mouth. Occasionally, the tongue comes out. I thought, what am I doing? So I tried to edit that out. I think that's what it was. But it doesn't work. I hope. 4. Are there certain topics you avoid? Things you regard as too personal or too controversial? I don't think there's a topic I would avoid or being controversial. The more controversial, the better it is, surely. I mean, there's certain ethical things I probably wouldn't go into on this channel. So, for instance, would I do the Kama Sutra? Probably not, because it's just titillation. Although it is a obviously internationally well-known and historically important book. No, I don't think there is. 5. Do your posts include graphics, special lighting, music, fast cuts or other design enhancements? Yes, with the graphics all the time. Not so much special lighting. I could. Don't see the point. Unless it's to do with what you're talking about, the book. Yes, definitely music. Fast cuts annoy me. I do them anyway just because of the editing process, that as I talked about, and you may see on this video. But that's not designed, that's just because I'm umming and ahhing. Design enhancements, yeah, I do a lot of AI imagery, so I guess I do. 6, do you have target number of posts each week? No. What I do is if I do a book discussion, I'll leave it up for 3 days. 3 New Zealand days, because I've noticed that when I've posted it, I don't know if the clock here in Google is slightly different to New Zealand, but when it comes to the 3rd day, it's often showing the day before, so like 2 days. So I often put it out as though it's been 2 days, but it's not. It's been 3 days here in New Zealand. If I do something like this, it'll be 3 days later, I'll do another one. But if it's like me just doing a talk to the camera of, say, Hamlet's soliloquy, which is obviously now out, 2 days after that. But generally 2 to 3 days. But if I didn't put any up because of going away on holiday, so be it. 7, are there certain theme posts you contribute to regularly, such as Poetry Thursday? No. Or what you are reading Wednesday? No, but I do tags. People have taken the time to tag me, therefore I respond. And in fact, I've got a whole list, that may be coming up. Yeah, that's question 9. I'll leave that till then. 8, how important to you is the number of your subscribers? 1 is enough. It's not the number of subscribers, it's the number of thinkers I'd like. If there is a tribe out there that I like to connect with, it's the people who are like-minded, are interested in certain things, looking at depth at a book. I might go a bit too deep. Earth's Call, for instance, but no, it's obviously it's lovely to see subscribers, but I don't want to compare myself to others. Now, when I started, exactly at the same time, funnily enough, Robert G. Reader of Books started, and he went to almost 8,000 subscribers within a week. It was amazing to see. Good on him. But I'm, at the same time, aware that I started along with others who may be similar subscribers or not to me. But does that matter? No, I don't think you judge a person or a channel by how many subscribers. And to be honest, if I'm honest, is that an oxymoron? If I'm honest, I'm amazed that I've got the number of subscribers that I have. I mean, I'm doing books that are very obscure and slowly. So, no, there's no certain number of subscribers. Is there a target number you're hoping to reach? No. I mean, everyone talks about the 1,000, but if you don't hit your target, would you consider dropping out of BookTube? No, not for that one reason. The only reason I would drop out is if for potentially family illness, myself, or living conditions, work, change that you can't foresee. I mean, no one foresaw back in 2018 that COVID was coming. Look at how that changed things. So, no, I can't say, because you don't know what's coming around the corner. Are your posts designed to attract new subscribers? Nope. Are you distressed if you lose subscribers? Oh, blimey. Now, thanks to Cobalt Dragon, she showed me how to work out how many subscribers I've lost, and it's a shed load, so no, it doesn't distress me. People come and go. It's like we're not here to be liked, surely. We're here to enjoy ourselves, inform and connect. That's all that really matters. 9. Do you always... Again. Let me have a drink. There's going to be quite a few bloopers on this one. Do you always respond when tagged? Yes. I think I've already intimated that. I've got about 5 more. But I don't want to do them every week. But they'll come around. Please, keep tagging. I mean, how many tags are out there? We're going to run out of tags eventually. But 10. Do you respond to viewers' comments? Yes. Are your responses lengthy or only a thumbs up or down? I'll always try and give a lengthy answer or a specific answer to show that, one, I have read the response. But if it's going like 5 or 6 back and forths, and that happens quite a lot, by the end it's obviously that there's not much else to say, so I'll probably end up on a thumbs up. Does that matter? I've commented on some channels and got nothing back. It doesn't upset me. Does it upset others? I don't know. 11. Have you ever blocked anyone from viewing or commenting on your posts? No. I mean, there will be times where there'll be someone obnoxious, possibly, that just wants to get an effect. But generally, no. 12. Tags. Is that it? We're at the end. Tag some BookTube friends. So I'm definitely going to do that. I've got to do a lot of trawling around to see if anyone's not done it. But if you're tagged, but you've already done it, then that's because we're running out of tags, possibly. But yeah. I don't know, as I'm recording, what we're going to do. That's going to have to be some extracurricular post-recording malarkey. So, Robert and then John, thank you very much. The BookTube behind the scenes tag is a good, wasn't it? Because we are all doing the same thing. The only thing that potentially will be different will be the look. I've got a room, books here. The table I'm on is about, you can't see, it's that big and you can't see my hands. About as far as I can put my hands out. That's my table. Then there's one here that you can see. I've got so much stuff on the screen now I can't see myself. Hang on. And you can see the books. I had shed loads of books once, but they just got so ridiculous that when I moved house at one point, they went with it. I gave them off for other people to enjoy. So there you go. It's behind the scenes. So I'm going to be talking about this next. This wonderful little thing. It's not little. It's great. And then here, 1984. This is giving you some heads up, that's what's coming up. Mrs. Beaton's Household Management. I've read The Library of Babel by Jorge Luis Borges. And this, which I found. I know I've done quite a few on Old Judgy, but this is a great one. I'm going to talk about that one. And it's to do with, I don't know how to talk about it, but there is one thing that and now this is another thing about serendipity. I remember talking to Air about Judge Dredd, and this thing in my mind, a memory I had of Emperor Lard, although he's not in here, and people doing like illicit eating of food competitions. And what did I find? There it is. This came out in 1987. But as I was reading through it, it became obvious that at that point, whoever was doing the artwork and the actual story belittle overweight people quite ruthlessly. And I felt slightly uncomfortable reading it, and that's a topic we just had. I'm going to talk about it. But it's the way in which they talk about what now is a common thing. Back in the 80s, it probably wasn't. Poking fun, but it's the language that's being used. So it's the ethics of how people are portrayed. It's quite marked. I've not thought about it that way before, but it really is something that I think I'm going to talk about. And I'm trying to look at the camera and put these back at the same time and failing. And I put them in the wrong order now. Get it right. So that's interesting. And here, well, let's just show you some more. I said I'm going to do some episodes from this, and I actually recorded one. This is interesting. I've not edited or deleted a post, but I've deleted a filming that won't be posted. I did 2 episodes from this. Start again. I did 2 recipes from this. One with my grandson. The second one, by the time we got there, he'd got bored and he went off to play, so I recorded it on my own. Neither of them worked. Followed the recipe to the T. Even went out and got some of the obscure items that were said. None of them worked. So that's another thing about cookbooks. They don't always turn out as they promise. But I'm going to do another one, a third, and hopefully that will be put up. And then I got this, Kai Feast. And Kai, it's Maori food. Beautifully done. And so on. So that's behind the scenes, that's going to be done. Then I've showed you the other books. So, and there's a shed load around the computer here. There's not necessarily for this channel, but I'm reading. We only show you really what looks good, I think, to go to air. And I can see myself now in the bounds of the camera. You got the on air. I mean, all these things really are just for show, aren't they? Rather than just showing an empty room. So, behind the scenes. And I'm starting to waffle now, so I'm going to say goodbye. Ta-ta for now.